in a locked case were contained the manuscripts of a massive masterpiece of philosophy which he is completing for New Age thinking and practice in all human relations, and a still greater work on the science of the future, to be called the Light Wave Universe. Both of these volumes will be ready late in 1946. He has been working upon them for 25 years, releasing bits of them occasionally, to the consternation of the entire scientific world. Why have you set 1946 as the date of their publication, I asked, and why has it taken so long to write them? The world has not been prepared to accept or even comprehend the new cosmology until now, he answered, nor has it been willing or ready to accept the New Age philosophy. The world needed to suffer in order to understand the simplest of universal principles, the unity of man and with God. The world of men had to reap the harvest of its seeds of hate, selfishness, and greed, as it has been sowing for centuries. It had to reap this harvest in order to learn that universal law is inevitable and inescapable. The time element was not set by me, but by the source from whom I gained my knowledge and received my most detailed and explicit instructions. That date was written down by me in May of 1921, at which time I was fully informed of the world carnage which was to take place during the interim as the harvest of the seeds of greed and selfishness which the world had been sowing. There was tremendous modesty in the man as he spoke, a quietness and dignity. There was simplicity and honesty and unself-consciousness, and a tremendous peace. I could see at once that if I could find the secret of his power, I would have something to give to the world that would be priceless. When we had seated ourselves in the midst of his pictures and statues, I turned to him. "Can you give me the secret of your life?" I asked. He hesitated, then replied, "Yes, I believe sincerely that every man has consummate genius within him. Some appear to have it more than others, only because they are aware of it more than others are. And the awareness or unawareness of it is what makes each one of them into masters or holds them down to mediocrity. I believe that mediocrity is self-inflicted, and that genius is self-bestowed. Every successful man I've ever known, and I have known a great many, carries with him the key which unlocks that awareness and lets in the universal power that has made him into a master." "What is that key?" I asked. "That key is desire when it is released into the great eternal energy of the universe." "Can you explain more fully what you mean by that?" "I have found out that the real essentials of greatness in men are not written in books, nor can they be found in the schools. They are written into the inner consciousness of everyone who intensely searches for perfection in creative achievement, and are understandable to such men only. Successful men of all the ages have learned to multiply themselves by gathering thought energy into a high potential and using it in the direction of the purpose intended. Every successful man or great genius has three particular qualities in common. The most conspicuous of these is that their minds grow more brilliant as they grow older instead of less brilliant. Great men's lives begin at 40, where the mediocre man's life ends. The genius remains an ever-flowing fountain of creative achievement until the very last breath he draws. The geniuses have learned how to gather thought energy together to use it for transforming their conceptions into material forms. The thinking of creative and successful men is never exerted in any direction other than that intended. That is why great men produce a prodigious amount of work, seemingly without effort and without fatigue. The amount of work such men leave to posterity is amazing. When one considers such men of our times as Edison, Henry Ford, or Theodore Roosevelt, one will find the three characteristics I have mentioned common to every one of them. Walter Russell has proven this in his own life. His record of production would reveal a versatility, quality, and volume which would be credible as the life's work of at least 5 men. And this equally applies to the sports of fun of life as to his work. He claims he has never known fatigue while obeying the law, but when he does break it, he feels a sense of guilt in discovering the slightest evidence of fatigue, which tells him that he has broken it. "Do you mean to say you never get tired?" I queried. "What is it that gets tired?" he asked. "Can energy tire or become fatigued? Certainly not, for all energy is the thought energy of the universal creative force, and that never lessens. The universal intelligence is constant and forever balanced. Can intelligence fatigue? Most certainly not, for that is as constant as the universal energy which manifests it. Therefore, there is no such thing as the mind becoming tired." What is it then that makes us say we are tired? Only one thing, our unbalanced body, nothing more. If we think we are tired or ill, it is only because we have done something to unbalance the body something to unbalance the bodily conductivity of the universal electric current which motivates it. So long as any machine, organic or inorganic, holds to the balanced tempo of its own normalcy of measured rhythm, just so long as it obeys the periodic law which gives it a normalcy of our work and rest in the inorganic machine, or wakefulness and sleep in the organic one, and just so long as it replaces its worn-out organic or inorganic parts, that machine is as certain to go through its normal, balanced life period without fatigue or illness as the sun is sure to reappear on the morrow. Joy and happiness are the indicators of balance in a human machine, just as a change in the familiar hum in a mechanism immediately indicates an abnormalcy to the practiced ear of the mechanic. An inner joyousness amounting to ecstasy is the normal condition of the genius mind. Any lack of that joyousness develops body-destroying toxins. That inner ecstasy of the mind is the secret fountain of perpetual youth and strength in any man. He who finds it finds omnipotence and omnificence. The electric energy which motivates us is not within our bodies at all. It is part of the universal supply which flows through us from the universal source, with an intensity set by our desires and our will.